people are worrying about coronavirus.
We see a lot of people with masks.
And I don't want to get sick. And I think, do I really need to go out?
For most people, if you catch coronavirus, it'll be mild.
But for some, coronavirus could be really serious.
These are mostly older people and people with underlying health conditions. Things like asthma, diabetes and heart disease. Good news is you can protect yourself, and the NHS says you should do these things. Even if you're not likely to be seriously affected by coronavirus,
You may pass it on to someone who could be. Number 1, wash your hands more. The more you wash your hands, the less likely you are to spread the virus to other people. So if you've been out in a public place, on a bus or a train, wash your hands as soon as you can afterwards. And properly wash your hands.
so that takes about 20 seconds to get them really clean, focusing on all parts of your hand, not just your palm,
Backs of hands,
around the nails, in between the fingers
wrists.
and your thumb, and use soap and water.
And when you're done, turn the tap off using a tissue and put it in the bin.
Antibacterial gels do work, but soap and water is best.
Number 2, avoid touching your eyes, nose and mouth, because that's the way the virus could get into your body. You can still touch your face, but only if you've washed your hands before. Number 3, catching your coughs and sneezes.
Experts think coronavirus is spread by droplets that come out of your nose and mouth. So when you sneeze or cough, catch them with disposable tissues, then bin it and wash your hands. Disposable tissues are better than handkerchiefs that you carry around with you all the time. If you don't have a tissue, sneeze or cough into the crook of your elbow.
That way, the germs are away from your hands, and you're less likely to pass them on unless you greet people using your elbow. Don't touch things with your hands if you don't have to. The less you touch things like surfaces, handrails, lift buttons, the less likely you are to catch the virus or indeed spread it on. Number 4, stay away from people who are ill.
If people are unwell, don't get too close to them. The closer you get, the more likely you are to catch something. Apart from that, you should go about your life as normal. That means you should go to work, go to school and see your friends, unless you've been told not to by your doctor.
Or the NHS 111 coronavirus service.
And when it comes to travelling, check with the Foreign Office before you plan to go.
Now, it's important to say that there's no evidence that you can catch coronavirus from letters, parcels, or food. And these things won't work when it comes to treating coronavirus. UV light,
Antibiotics
garlic.
and saline solution. As for masks, they're important when people are in very close contact with patients, but there's very little evidence that masks are helpful in everyday life.
If you've been coughing or you have a high temperature or you're short of breath, you may have the symptoms of coronavirus, but you don't necessarily have coronavirus.
But if you think you may do, don't go anywhere, especially not the hospital, pharmacy or doctors.
Instead, phone your doctor.
Or use the online NHS 111 coronavirus service.
And they'll be the ones who can tell you what you should do next.